And yeah, we have one more way to create the immunity test cases. That is like previously we have created by using test record, right? So that is automatically you will create your immunity test flow. So you no need to do anything actually. So those test record will generate everything. So like that will generate everything, that marking, and I said that everything it will generate. So now if you want to do your manually, then you have to go to here and simply right click here and create a blank test for this flow. Okay, so then you can create a blank test tool. So then now it will create, I'll show you, then also I'll show you that thing also. Not this one exactly, this is the thing. And here I will copy this thing. Actually, so if I want to create a new one, so for example I want to create a immunity test case for this application. How can I create? So first of all I have to right click here. So by using test recorder, already we have seen, right, by using test recorder how we can create the immunity flow. So in the same way how we can create a manual immunity testing. So I'll show you that thing. So simply right click here, go to here. Previously you have selected this option, right, record test for this flow. Now you have to select this option. So like you have to select this option. Which option? Create blank test for this flow. So then it will create a one blank test cases. So here you don't see any mock testing or set set event payload or asset that or asset equals. You're not seeing anything. You have to create your manually. Okay, these things you have to create manually. So already you have set event attributes already you have, so you can use this actually. So set event attributes, these are all things created generated automatically, but you don't need this actually. Delete. So for this to mark your actually, so this flow reference will connect to your actual flow. So where is your actual flow? This is your actual flow, right? So you have to create a minute test case for this flow. So if you have any database or external third-party system calls, then you have to mark those calls actually. So how you can do that? By using mark component. Simply go here and search for the mark. Here you can see immunity tools mark. So you have to drag this. You have to configure that component, DB component. So which processor you want to mark, then you have to select that component from here. Pick processor. So click here, and if you want to do mark for the select operation, you have to select this one. So based on the attributes, here you can see multiple attributes actually. So based on the document name or document ID configuration. So I'll do with the three options. Okay, the three option I am doing the mock. So now if you want to return any payload, you can return from here. If you want to return any status code or attributes, then you can return from here. Okay, so I want to return my payload whenever I hit this database. While testing, whenever I hit this database, I will not get the data from the database. I'll get the data from this mock component. Okay, so this mock components needs to give the its mock component needs to return the payload, mock payload. Okay, so this actually this losing this configuration every time I need to save, I guess that's why I couldn't see save, right? So that's why it's gone. So now I need to give the payload, mock payload here. So by using this mock payload, we can do our testing without touching real database. Okay, so for that we need to give the mock data, right? So for that I'll take the data from here, I'll copy and I'll paste this here. src in the SRC test MUnit, we have MUnit flow. For this flow, we have, if you have any example flow, example files, you can create that example files in the SRC test resource. In that, I have created a folder. In that folder, I have created a multiple files. So here you can see this is the mock payload. I have mock payload in the JSON format, and here you can see some status code, 200 status code. Okay. So I'll include these two files in the flow. How can I include? So for that, I need one expression actually. So I'll copy that expression. So what is that expression? So this is the expression. So I'll copy this expression. Anyway, so I need to place that expression in our value section, payload. I need to return the payload, right? So here I am using this MUnit tools get resource as string and MUnit example 1. This is my like database mock payload. This is the mock payload, and I need to give the mock attributes also. So nothing but status code, right? So simply I'll copy this and I'll paste here. I'll change this one actually. I'll change the file name. So what is my file name? So status code.json is my file name. Status code.json file name. Okay. So now, and here I need to select the MIME type as well. If required, then it will helpful to you. Will not get any errors actually. Okay, you have to select this MIME type as well. JSON and 8. Now I'm returning the status code, right? So once it is the flow execution will go to the database automatically. Instead of hitting this database, it will hit the mock component. It will mock component will return the mock payload as well as the mock status code as well. It will return the mock status code. So here you can see mock status code, but I'm unable to see any mock. Oh my god, why it's not saving this data? Every time I need to writing. Oh, this is a big issue. Yeah, this way I can write mock payload control S every time I need to save. That is a headache thing. So here I will write the status code. Status code.json. Here I will select the JSON. Yeah, in this way. Now my mock is ready with the status code and a payload. So if you want to asset, nothing but if you want to compare, you can compare with the payload. Otherwise, you can compare with the status code also. To compare with the status, I need to use the asset. So in this asset, we have three components like asset that and asset expression. So asset equals. So by using asset that, we can compare our payloads, and by using asset expression, we can write some expression. Based on that expression, we can compare. Asset equals, usually we are using this asset equals actually. So I'm comparing the status code. So what like so what is the status code is coming from our mock component? So 200, right? So I'm comparing that status code. How can I compare? So where I have my status code actually. So I have my status code in the attributes, right? So in the attributes, I have my status code. So I want to fetch from the attributes dot status code. Status code. Here I will compare with the 200. So in this way I can do the mock. So if you want to do any verify all those things, we can write actually verify. I think we don't have verify now. MUnit. Otherwise we have MUnit model, right? If you click on this MUnit, automatically you can see all possible things. So after suit, after test, before suit, some we have so many things is there. So those are all are not required actually. No need to worry about that. So now I will run this MUnit test case. So you can see in this way you can mark our database. Otherwise, if you have in the same place, if you have HTTP request, you have to mark those HTTP requests as well. You have to capture that output, and you have to add that output in this. So I'm capturing the database output and I'm placing that output in this mock payload. So I'm giving whatever actual database is giving the output, same output I'm giving in the file, I'm reading that output from the file actually. So that is the case. And also whatever giving the database like status code, I'm reading that status code from the file. So now finally you will get a success. So if you get success, you will get green button. So you can generate the code coverage as well. So here you can I'll show you the code coverage. 100% is by code coverage. Okay, you can see in the flow also. In flow you can see all tick marks, right? It's nothing but each and every processor got tested. Nothing but each and every processor got executed successfully. In this way you can do the unit testing in a different ways. By right clicking on the flow, we can directly create a blank test. That is the one way. And otherwise we can record the test input and outputs, and based on that it will generate automatically everything, it will generate. But in the blank test case, so we have to create this mock component, everything we have to create manually, everything we have to create manually. But in the automation case, means test recording case, it will generate automatically, you don't need to do anything. Okay, in that way it will work. So the last way already I have told you, right? If you have any API based applications, simply go to their API based applications. So for example, here you have student API. So here I don't have any unit, test unit. So simply go to the main flow API, right? So here right click here, create a test suite for the student API. So then if you create in this way, API kit router, if you right click on the API kit router and create the test suite, so it will create based on the RAML. Why? Because API kit router internally interact with the RAML, right? So based on the RAML, it will create the test suite for all flows actually. So why? Because in the RAML we have resources, right? So based on that resources, it will generate the flows actually. Based on the resources, it will generate the flow. That's why it will generate the unit test cases for all these flows. Okay, it will generate the test cases for all these flows. So it will generate the negative test cases and positive test cases, all test cases it will generate. Why? Because in RAML we have error codes, right? So we have 200, 400 bad request, and 404, 503. So we have a number of error codes also. Based on that error codes also, it will generate the unit test suits. So here you can see all the test suits. So for this, it will generate the components also. So it will take the files actually. It will also consider files. So from where it will getting the files? So whenever it is generating the test suite, automatically it will generate scaffolders. We can say scaffolders. In the scaffolders, it will generate the request and response. Based on the RAML, it will take the input data from the RAML and it will create the request folder. Here you can see I have two resources. For the post resource and put resource, it is created the request JSONs. In the same way, responses for every resource like post, put, delete, get, every resource I have response, right? So that's why it is created multiple responses file. Based on the RAML only, it will generate everything. So you can generate these many flows. You can do the negative testing and positive testing. Yeah, this will help to you to test the error handling also. When the error handling will test actually, so this flow, if you want to test the error handling flow, then you have to do some negative testing, then only it will come to the bad request or it will come to the some method not allowed, right? So that's why it will do in this way, in a multiple ways it will do the testing. This is the unit testing concept, guys. Thank you so much. So in this way we can do the testing in a three ways. One is the by using test recorder, and another one is the manual creating a empty test flows, and third one is the API kit router model, like by right clicking on the API kit router and you can generate the all test cases. In this way you can generate in a three ways that test cases. That's it, guys. Thank you.